It's Thursday, June 9th, 2022. Before we start the video today, I want to remind all of you to please make sure to give this video a like, share this video and all my videos all over the place, blast them all over your social media. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification down below so that you are alerted with the newest videos. But enough of all that. Let's get right into what is happening. And I want to start the video by telling all of you a story, really an update of what's happening. If you saw my video yesterday, where I was at a large new home development, new homes being built by the hundreds, please check it out if you haven't seen it. But I spoke with a friend of mine yesterday, and he owns the largest real estate brokerage in his city. And I'm not going to mention that city, but it is a very popular destination here in Southern California. It is internationally known. It is a huge second home market, a huge resort town. And I spoke with him yesterday for about 15 minutes, and he told me it has begun. Those were the words out of his mouth. It has begun. He told me that a few weeks ago, his office had 75 listings. 3 weeks ago. As of yesterday, they had over 300. And he says by the end of this month, they will have over 500 listings. This is the largest real estate brokerage in this city. And I'm not going to mention it out of respect for him, but this is the largest real estate brokerage in that city. And it's a large area. And he is saying that people now are calling him every day, trying to unload properties. The Airbnb market is going to be in very, very big trouble, he says. People that bought second and third homes going to be in very, very big trouble. This is not me saying this. This is a broker. This is the guy that owns the brokerage saying this. So let me reiterate this. 3 weeks ago, his office had 75 home listings, now over 300 as of yesterday. By the end of the month, he estimates that they'll have over 500. That's where he estimates the listings will be for his office, over 500 listings by the end of this month. So while I update you with that, I looked at the 30-year fixed rate on a mortgage this morning. It's sitting at 5.54%. Big trouble. So if you didn't see yesterday's video, please check it out, where I'm at. This huge development in Beaumont, California, where they've built thousands of homes and they're building hundreds more right now. So please check out yesterday's video. Also, I want to comment, and I want to talk about, switching gears here, I want to talk about something else. There are people that say I've been talking about this collapse for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it may be. And I want to touch on this a little bit. These same people, I read yesterday, somebody said, I've been talking about this collapse for 3 years. Now, collapses don't happen overnight. Bubbles don't form overnight. Bubbles take years to build up and then pop. And this bubble is very, very unique because it's been allowed to persist. And many of us are shocked that it's gone on this long. But there was a thing called quantitative easing that took place, which has allowed these bubbles to persist, to get bigger, and to extend their lifeline or their period of life. And this is why this collapse will be so much worse, because it's been pumped up with so much artificial money and so much of this quantitative easing. But to these people who like to comment that I've been talking about this collapse for 3 or 4 years, imagine if you were preparing 3 or 4 years for where we are at today. Imagine, instead of criticizing and judging and being negative, if you would have took the time to prepare over the last 3 years, you'd probably be in very, very good shape right now. And unfortunately, many of these people live in their mother's basement. Many of these people understand now that they have nothing. Many of these people have been wiped out in the Ponzi scheme. And now they feel left out. Now they're bitter. And I'm not making fun of these people. I'm not judging these people. But you and I know that these people who talk like this are the most unprepared people. And now they're getting very worried, very, very scared. And they don't have anything to protect themselves from this collapse. They have no preparations whatsoever. They don't have financial preparations. They don't have the food and water preparations. They have nothing. And so all they can do now is lash out at people like myself and you who said, look, 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we all knew where this was all going. And so instead of judging people, the best thing to do or to have done was to begin to prepare 3, 4, or 5 years ago. And this is why the people who prepared 3, 4, or 5 years ago are going to prosper. And these people living in their mother's basement, that all they can do is say, well, you've been saying this for 3 years. You know the same people. I know the same people. These people are in big, big trouble. And I feel sorry for them, and I don't feel sorry for them, because all they're doing today is continuing to waste more time by judging people when they should look in the mirror and prepare and get ready for what is going on. And before I forget, there's a great channel. Somebody gave me a shout out, the Alaskan Prepper. The Alaskan Prepper. Here is an individual who walks the walk. I've watched a handful of his videos over the past few days, and I want to thank him for the shout out. But this is a gentleman from the half a dozen videos of his that I've watched. I think all of us can learn something from. This is somebody not sleeping in their mom's basement. This is somebody who is sounding the alarm, somebody that is showing you how to prepare, what you need to prepare, food preparations, financial preparations. This is a gentleman that I'm going to watch more videos of. I've already shared some of his videos. But these are the people we need to be watching and listening to. The Alaskan Prepper. Great channel. Check it out. This gentleman is not living in his mother's basement. This gentleman is productive. This gentleman is sounding the alarm. This is a gentleman who is prepared for what is coming. So we need to be surrounding ourselves with people like this, listening and supporting people like this, not people living in their mother's basement, hoping for another check from the government to save them. These same people who have lost all their money in the Ponzi scheme, gambling in the cryptos, and now wiped out. The same people who don't want to go and work. The same people who just want to depend on the system. Same people that want their college tuition debt paid. These are not the people you want to be listening to, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be listening to people who are walking the walk, people who are productive, people who are awake and see what is happening financially and spiritually, and warning you to prepare. Again, mortgage demand falls to the lowest level in 22 years amid rising rates and slowing home sales. This on CNBC. And as I touched on earlier, the 30-year fixed rate is sitting at, on average, 5.54% as of this morning. Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home fell 7% for the week and were 21% lower than the same week a year ago. Refinance demand dropped 6% for the week and was down 75% year over year. If you're in the mortgage business, a lot of pain coming to the mortgage industry without a doubt. And if you saw my video yesterday where hundreds of new homes are being built in this development, where thousands of homes were already built, many of them sold with very, very low rates. Now, all these homes under construction, all of the land that's being graded, all of the building supplies that's been ordered, what is going to happen to the building industry, and what is the real estate industry going to look like by the end of this summer? We have a 50 basis point rate hike coming next week, which is going to affect mortgage rates yet again. And I truly do believe by the end of this month, we are going to see 6% plus mortgage rates for 30-year. And remember, you get the 5.5%, 6% rate if you have excellent credit, 750 FICA, 780 FICA, 20% down. Remember, the people who are buying Fannie, Freddie with 3% down that have a 640, 650 FICA, their rate's not going to be 5.5 or 6%. Their rate is going to be 7 or 8%. So you are going to watch the real estate market, new home sales, existing home sales. You are going to watch this market absolutely obliterated. The hedge, shocking consumer credit numbers. Everyone maxing out their credit card ahead of the recession. The February print was $41.8 billion, more than double the expected of $18.1 billion. March was an absolute blowout where we saw $52.4 billion of credit. Again, more than double the expected $25 billion print and the highest on record. So for the month of March, that added up to $31.4 billion in credit card debt and $21 billion in auto and student loan debt. So absolutely astonishing numbers as we head in, not just to a recession, in my opinion, as we head into a depression. We have been in a recession for a while now, ladies and gentlemen. In my humble opinion, we are heading into something much worse. CNBC, raising a middle-class child will likely cost almost $286,000 according to USDA data. More middle-class destruction on the way. That's for raising one child middle class. What if you have 3, 4, or 5 children in middle class? And the middle class wasn't expecting gas to be $6, $7, or $8. The middle class wasn't expecting food inflation to be this outrageous, for housing costs to be this outrageous. Nobody anticipated or saw inflation doing what it's doing right now. And so most people were completely unprepared to deal with what we're seeing. And this is affecting everybody. And there's people out there that will just say, well, just don't have kids. Well, people already had kids and they're in the middle class and now they're being destroyed. Just an absolute destruction of the middle class. ABC News, gas prices hit $5 national average. So we have $5 gas now as the national average. Right here in California, the average for the state of California is $6.40. And they're saying on average, to fill up that family vehicle is now costing the middle class, the poor, to fill up that minivan, to fill up that SUV, on average, $95. Literally $100 to go to the gas station. Now, the question is, do you go to the gas station every day, every 2 days, every 3 days? Just driving back from Orange County, just looking at the amount of people on the freeways, it's boggling. It blows my mind away. But there are people that live in Riverside or Corona that drive into Los Angeles. They drive into southern Orange County, and they are driving 75, 100 miles a day one way to work and all the way back. And how this is not taking a massive toll on people, I have no idea. But we know it's taking a massive toll. We know that that's why consumer debt is skyrocketing, because they are turning to credit cards to put gas in the car just to go to work. So they're paying enormous sums of money in taxation. Then we're paying huge gas prices. We're paying huge prices for food. How are people going to continue to do this? There are so many people right now that are probably rolling over all night long, just wondering how they're going to feed their kids, how they're going to get to work, praying to God that the car doesn't break down, that they don't need an alternator, that they don't need a transmission, that they just don't need $1,000 car repair. Then what if they don't have the part for the car and you can't go to work for 2 or 3 weeks? I mean, we are in the twilight zone, ladies and gentlemen. And again, there's nothing funny. I find nothing humorous. I get no satisfaction in reporting the real news to all of you. And as I've said numerous times in the past, I wish I could just make car videos, drive a Ferrari, go to car meets, go to Cars and Coffee, have a great time, laugh and giggle and joke around. But I'm at a point in my life watching this that I'm so concerned about every one of you. I'm concerned about the people in my life, my family, my friends, all my loved ones, and all of you. And I would not be able to respect myself, look myself in the mirror, if I did not make these videos and share reality with all of you and reinforce with all of you that you're not alone, that this is not the twilight zone. This is the real world. This is your life. This is my life. It's happening to me. I'm seeing the enormous increases in prices of food, energy, housing, just like all of you. Yes, we can see people driving around all day. We can see people shopping at the stores. We can see people going out to eat. But you got to look under the iceberg to see what's really going on. Half of those people, more than half of those people, are using credit cards. Many of those people are already broke. Many of those people are going down with the ship. And so we've got to stay real to ourselves. And we've got to continue doing what we do. And I just want to let all of you know, you are not alone. It is really happening. I see it. You see it. It's real. So don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt reality. Continue to prepare for reality. Hard times are coming. And these people who continue to party, they're going to be the biggest losers. They are going down with the ship. You are not. So don't be diverted with your preparations. Continue on track. Do not get complacent and do not be fooled. Things are not getting better and things are not going to get better. Another article today, relying on your credit card to make ends meet, a 0% APR card is more helpful than ever. So again, this is just reinforcing everything we know that is happening. People are turning to credit cards to just pay for essentials, to just get by. Those people that you see drinking the cocktails, going out to the nice restaurants, guess what? They're using credit cards. They're going to pay now, worry later. But these introductory offers on these cards of 0% APR, they're temporary. They're going to go up. But you can charge, as it says here, your groceries, your gas, and your clothing. All things that if people had money, more than likely would just pay cash for, but they don't. I mean, charging your groceries, your clothing, instead of paying all at once, you can spend you can spread the payments, ease the pain, as they say. So what happens to these people when the offer runs out and that 0% goes to 16.9% or 21% or 28%? They're just buying time, ladies and gentlemen. And this is on CNBC. And of course, we know all about people going and getting payday loans, personal loans, buy now, pay later plans. This is not the sign of a healthy economy. The hedge today, cracks are starting to appear in the pay later securitized credit market. Yes, subprime loans are back. And they are doing whatever they can to contain all this subprime lending. This, again, not the sign of a healthy economy. If the consumer is so healthy, why are we seeing subprime loans taking place? And why are they lending money to people who are broke? Securitized loans offered by Affirm Holdings, we've talked about them in the past, are falling in price while becoming more expensive to issue. It's a bad sign. It's a sign that nerves are abound in credit markets, according to the article. The lender has 12.7 million customers and has extended $3.9 billion in loans for the first quarter of 2022. Shares of the lender have plunged 80% this year amidst rising interest rates. And guess what? Rates are going higher. This company, Affirm, has a weakening in credit quality. And we're going to see a lot more of this take place with more of these type of companies, these buy now, pay later companies. When you are originating to borrowers with low or thin credit, typically the younger demographic, that always has a warning for us and something that could be an indicator of potentially negative credit performance, said analyst Harry Cole. The company has lost $530 million in 9 months. Is this the sign that things are good and healthy with the consumer? Essentially, younger consumers who don't have a lot of credit, who don't have a lot of history. I don't think Affirm is going to be a company we're going to be talking about a few years down the road. And many of these buy now, pay later companies are going to be history. Again, lending to subprime borrowers. And we're going to see the same thing in the housing market. Stitch Fix is laying off 15% of salaried employees, internal memo says. 330 people this morning were notified that they lost their job. People can't afford a stylist. And this is where you go online and you basically pay for a stylist to put your clothes together, and then they mail you your clothes. This is over, ladies and gentlemen. The typical consumer is going broke. They don't have $20 to pay for an online stylist and then to buy clothes online. So 330 people notified this morning at Stitch Fix, and we're going to see more layoffs. And these people who think that we're not going to see a housing collapse because, oh, there's so much equity in the home, watch how fast the equity is vacuumed right out of this market, especially when, as I shared with you earlier, a friend of mine who owns the largest brokerage in this area of Southern California, having his listings pick up by 400% in 3 weeks. When people can't rent those Airbnb properties out, when they don't have a cash flow coming in because they lost their job or a spouse lost their job, watch how fast the equity is vacuumed out when you see the listing market pile up literally overnight. When people are rushing to the exits and are willing to take an offer, watch how fast the equity is vacuumed out of the housing market. Again, cash flow, jobs, people can't rent homes. People now can't afford second and third homes that they bought, now have to rush to the exits. People losing massive amounts in the stock market, having to sell a second or third home to raise some capital, to unload it. Watch how fast the equity begins to exit. Catalytic converter thefts rise 10,000% in Washington state. This is the world we are living in, ladies and gentlemen. Things have really been changing. The AP, no, you're not imagining it. Package sizes are shrinking. You are paying more and you are getting less. And this is going to continue to affect the average household in America, mainly the middle class and the poor. Pay more, get less. Very interesting article on the Wall Street Journal I was reading this morning. Inflation hits lawn care, so Americans get their mowers out. Homeowners are now, wow, shockingly, mowing their own lawns. Now, when I was a kid growing up in Chicago, every week I mowed the lawn. It wasn't until I came to California when I first saw landscapers that nobody out here mowed their lawns. Back in Illinois, everybody mowed their own lawns. So now people are going to have to resort to cleaning their own pools out, mowing their own lawns, and what a shock. But Wall Street Journal talking about this. So people are going to have to cut out their online stylists, buying clothes online. They're going to be cutting out lawn care, pool cleaning. And what does this mean, though? If we break it down, there are so many people who have lawn care services out here in California, landscapers, and so many people have pool companies. And what is this going to mean for these people now that more people are going to call up the landscaper or the pool guy and say, hey, I'm not going to need your service. I'm gonna be taking care of my own lawn, my own pool to save a couple $100 a month or more. what is that going to mean to the small business owner, the landscaper, the small pool cleaner? It's going to be very, very interesting. So I just wanted to touch base on that, how things are changing, where people are going to have to maintain their own pools, their own lawns, their own wardrobes. Really a time of change that we're witnessing here. But as I close out today with all of you, so much happening. The markets are still open. They are down across the board. Tomorrow we will get the inflation numbers. Let me know down below in the comments, where are the inflation numbers going to come in tomorrow? Very interesting. From what I was watching this morning, they're going to pretty much be the same. So will they be lower? Will they be higher? Will they be the same? And remember, you know as well as I do, these inflation numbers, the CPI, heavily manipulated. So no matter what the numbers are, I don't believe them, because I know that inflation is much higher than they're telling us. And inflation, we're seeing inflation literally on everything. But remember, they're not going to count energy, they're not going to count food, so they're able to play with these numbers and put them where they want, make you feel better. Maybe the markets will get some good news, the inflation's down, and they can get the markets to bounce back up on Friday. I don't know. In all reality, inflation is going up. It's going to continue to go up. That's in the real world. But we're talking the stock market. That's not the real world. That is a very controlled, manipulated world. But let me know. What do you think? Maybe we'll get a little tidbit of truth tomorrow. Maybe they'll be a little higher. I don't know. I really don't know. You can't predict this stuff. But they're saying right now it's going to be pretty much what it was last month. I don't know. Comment down below. Have a phenomenal day. Stay on path, ladies and gentlemen. We are really witnessing some serious times. My heart goes out to so many people who've got kids, who are putting gas in the car, trying to put food on the table, trying to keep their jobs. It's a great time, ladies and gentlemen, to get out and get a side hustle, an extra job, do whatever you have to do. These people, well, companies aren't loyal. The job I have isn't loyal to me. If you have a job right now, thank God. Get on your hands and knees tonight and thank God you have a job right now. Whether they're loyal to you or not, you need to be loyal to yourself. Make money while you can. Work 2 jobs, work 3 jobs, whatever you can to make cash right now. Yeah, maybe your company's not the most loyal company, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be a loyal person and do a great job at what you do. But right now, putting gas in your car is a luxury. Putting food on the table is becoming a luxury. Having a job is going to become a luxury. So do the best that you can with your job so that you don't get fired, so that you're not one of these Stitch Fix employees, that you're not a Netflix employee, that you're not one of these employees in the tech industry who are getting laid off every day. Jobs are going to become a luxury, ladies and gentlemen. The people that really want their job and who do a real good job at it, maybe you don't like your boss, maybe you don't like the company you work for. That's right now, but maybe you might have to stick it out for a while till things change. Do what you need to do to keep that job, because jobs are going to come into demand, especially if you have a job that's paying you halfway decent wages right now. Do what you can to keep it. Do what you can to be the last person fired. Maybe even get promoted. Maybe not get fired and be promoted. Again, all this stuff, the gas, the food, having a roof over your head, having a job, these are all becoming luxuries, ladies and gentlemen. And they're going to get harder and harder to keep, harder and harder to find, harder and harder to maintain. So do what you can to keep the job. Because if you keep that job, more than likely you're going to keep your house, keep paying the rent, keep putting food on the table, and we're going to have to weather through this.